Hey Adrian.
Hey,
Yeah,
Aro, how's it going?
ah, well, finally back from all the conferences. We went to three Ruby conferences together with Adrian over 18 days, and now we're both home. And we would like to talk about our experience visiting all the conferences today.
Yes, it was really incredible. Like for 3 weeks, just hanging out with our people, the Ruby people, hanging out with a few of us that have been to some combination of all those conferences. So it was definitely, a different experience than just going to one, and that's it.
Yeah, indeed. So first of all, we went to EuRuKo in Lithuania. And there were around 500 people that visited the EuRuKo. It was in Vilnus, and this is like European Ruby conference that is organized every year, and every year it is in a different city. So a year ago it was in Helsinki, and this year it was in Vilnius because the people voted for Vilnius. So it was actually like 3-day conference.
Yep. So I've been in contact with Sergi and Ali for the better part of last year, and I know they had some challenges, but I think they did a very good job. I mean, it was my first EuRuKo, but this is how I imagined it to be, like a rather large conference. The venue was beautiful. The activities were nice as well. We could do so many things throughout the city. Vilnius is a good host city, and yeah, I just had a lot of fun. It was quite nice.
Yeah, the city itself was quite nice. The food was very cheap. The food was very good, so I ate very well. And yeah, Sergio really did a tremendous work in organizing the conference. So just comparing like to RailsWorld, there were really few sponsors. Like there was no GitHub or Shopify's, like no billion,
Yep,
or at least I don't know
yep.
whether there were any of the sponsors that were like $1 billion. Like I think they were like in the multiple millions. Yeah, so
Yeah,
there were
yeah,
no like
yeah.
super big budget sponsors, but they did as well as they could. There was food provided
Yes.
on all the conference days. There were great after parties that were included, and yeah, the train like with 500 Ruby developers.
Yeah, so let's tell people about that. So after the first day, I think probably we left the venue, which was the Technical University of Vilnius, which they had an amazing, big hall. We left there. We went to we met at the train station, at the Vilnius train station, where we had a train just for ourselves, where we got on when we took a trip to the party place, to a brewery outside of town where Jesus, well, it was so nicely put together. We had like good music, like the lights show, good beer, good cider. Everybody had fun. And then at about, I think, 1 a.m., the train came back. It picked us up and took us back to the train station, and that was like quite a memorable, quite an interesting trip.
Yeah, and there were planned talks and there were some unconference talks. So from the planned talks, it was really interesting to see and to listen to the Japanese Ruby people, and they gave a few
Definitely.
talks. Like I remember especially the Pico Ruby one.
Yeah. And yeah, there was another terminal one. Like, yeah, it was very cool. I feel that somehow like the Japanese culture really seems like really sweeps into EuRuKo very nice. I mean, every year I know Mats is either coming or giving a video presentation, and then you do some live some live talking with him. So I feel that the Japanese culture is definitely there in EuRuKo.
Yeah, and the
And
funniest thing with Matt's like, there is this statement like, Ruby was not built for the web. Matt says that Ruby was not
yes,
built for the web, but like the answer is so simple. Ruby was built around 1993, and the web started becoming a thing in
yep,
1995. So it's not that
yep.
Ruby was built not to be used with the web, but the web wasn't there yet.
Exactly. Um, there's another thing that I'd like to point out about EuRuKo, because I've been speaking to many people, and there was always this idea like, is this good that every year this is a traveling a conference, and every year somebody else does it, and maybe they don't have as much experience, so there is some knowledge sharing there, but definitely it's a new experience for the people that organize it. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? And I think, like, I don't know if it's like the Ruby community, but I think this is a good thing because you feel that pressure of putting on a great show. It has like such a nice legacy. It's been going on for, I don't know, 20 years or something, and it has such a nice legacy. So you feel that pressure to put on the same like good show,
Mm. But
So yeah, definitely
yeah, but still,
it's a bit tough.
it's not just like okay, I will pitch EuRuKo, and me, a guy who lives in my mom's basement, will be just like organizing everything on my own. Usually, like the Helsinki guys, they already have experience organizing conferences. The people who like Sergey, for example, he has been having a meetup, and I think you've even been to a meetup in Vilnus previously organized by Sergey, so he already has some experience. So yeah, usually they at least have some experience organizing some sort of events. I can't wait for friendly EuRuKo.
Yeah, you've been going around and pitching to everybody, friendly EuRuKo to everybody. I don't know. I don't think we're quite ready for that yet. I'm happy to have friendly, the being a cozy conference for a few more years, like a smaller one. But yeah, we'll get to that.
Well,
What
you
was
have
something that
done.
you really enjoyed on EuRuKo?
Oh, I mean, everything was
How
good.
about the
Uh,
party bus?
Yo, the party pass was quite unexpected. So on the second day of the conference, one of the sponsors, Git Butler, that was founded by an ex GitHub founder, hired a party bus. So there were like drinks, music, dancing
Lights.
pole. Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
they took us on this bus from the venue to the city center.
Yes, it was beautiful. It was an interesting experience.
Mm-hmm.
Where at the venue they bought us like dinner and drinks and everything, so that was a nice thing as well.
Yeah, and Adrian actually gave a talk on the unconference part of EuRuKo. So he talked about how you can build Rails apps 10 times faster.
Yeah. No, it was beautiful. I felt very humbled that I was chosen to do that talk. Yeah, I had lots of fun. It was great. That was great. Cool.
Yeah.
And at the end, the next year's city pitches were announced. Between them, there were like Helsinki, Copenhagen, Manchester, Verona, I think one more, and
Warsaw
oh,
and Tuzla.
Warsaw, yes, and our winner, Tuzla, from Bosnia and
Um,
Herzegovina. What did you think about the pitch, Yaro?
yeah, so I already see that EuRuKo has posted all the videos on the YouTube channel. And yesterday I actually rewatched the Tuzla pitch. And the key selling point was like you have no other reason to ever visit Bosnia, so come to Bosnia. And there has never been a Ruby conference in Bosnia, so having one would help cultivate a local community or something.
Yeah. And I think that's true. That's definitely a good reasoning. But just to give some context, like Tuzla is a city like 2 hours away from Sarajevo. They have an airport, but there have been some talks in the community that maybe they don't have that there are not enough flights coming in. Maybe I don't know if they have enough hotel rooms and everything. But I think that the guys that are putting it on are going to solve this thing somehow. So definitely I am I'm looking forward to Bosnia and Herzegovina. I mean, it's one of the places that I wanted to visit, but like they said, like you wouldn't have, you wouldn't have many reasons to go there. So this would be like a very, very good reason. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yep, definitely. Cool.
Okay. So then after EuRuKo, I was still staying in Vilnus for a few days, and I think Adrian went straight back home to Romania because he had a lot of preparation and organizational work to do before FriendlyRB.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like I've been speaking to people and everybody said like, hey man, aren't you putting on a conference like next week? What are you doing here in Vilnius? Enjoying yourself. And like most of the things, they were pretty well like planned ahead. We actually like on the only thing that we had as an issue, like our swag, which we ordered from China, was stuck in customs for 3 weeks, and we only got it like one day before. So we were really like, prepared to get like the address, the home address or office address of everyone and sit and ship it to you after the conference when we got the package. So that was like the only fire that, it was burning on our end. But otherwise, everything else, like the vendors, the venue, the volunteers, everything just, we were pretty well prepared. I think this is like one of the good things about running a smaller conference, a more cozy conference, of like, I don't know, we were like 130 people total, which was like just the right amount in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it went well, cozy. I met many people who have not been to EuRuKo but did come to Friendly, and it was quite
Yeah,
international with a few speakers from the US. There was Jason Sweat talking about ChatGPT, and Jeremy, Jeremy,
yeah.
who is the host of the Indie Rails podcast, was also talking about how to make it as an indie developer. This talk was really inspiring to me.
Yeah, definitely those guys were super sweethearts for coming and attending. And they were like, when you see people on Twitter, you might be a little bit what do you call it, you don't know how to talk to them, but when you see them in person in like such a small conference, such a small gathering, you really get the opportunity to talk to them and like buy them a beer and really connect a little bit differently than you would do like in a very, very big event or another place like that. Yeah, so definitely it was amazing. I really wanted Jeremy's talk to be the last one to close the conference because I knew it's going to pack a punch and it's going to be inspiring and it's going to leave like a good taste for everyone after the full 2 days of conferences. So yeah, I'm glad you loved it.
Yeah, and another thing that makes Adrian's events really special is the after parties and the events that happen after the conferences. So on Friday, the conference was basically taking place on Wednesday and Thursday. And on Friday, a big group of people, around 30, went to the mountains all together. So it was an hour and a half ride by train in each direction. We visited a palace of the
A royal
previous
house.
king, and then we went on top of a mountain that was like 2,000 meters high, I guess.
Yeah. No, that was amazing. And we really had luck because when we arrived there, I'd like to say it was planned, but it wasn't. The city days were in motion. So basically they closed off the main street and they had all kinds of vendors selling, sweets and food and other traditional things like souvenirs. And it was just a wonderful time. They had like a show and fireworks and everything. It was just perfect, like really the perfect closing of FriendlyRB. It was a very friendly setting.
Yeah, I really love this party spirit in that village that we visited. So
Yeah,
it actually reminded me of home. Before the war, I used to visit Ukraine most often around New Year and end of June, beginning of July, and it was like midsummer celebration and the New Year celebration. So I have a strong association with like such festivities with my home, and yeah, I felt a bit
yeah.
like at home in Ukraine.
Nice. Yeah, I'm super glad about that. Yeah. um yeah, Friendly was amazing. We're just going to probably this week we're going to announce the next event. We have to think about a date, and next year we'll definitely try to make it just a little bit better, but the same level of coziness and the same level of great speakers as well. So yeah, so anybody, I'm looking forward for next year.
Just a moment.
Yep.
Yeah, obviously, whenever I start recording a podcast, my neighbors start drilling something. That's like a rule of nature.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, no, it's okay. We'll cut it off.
Yeah, okay. So I actually stayed for quite a while in Romania after Friendly. There was maybe like 5 or 6 days between Friendly and RailsWorld. I had the opportunity to just focus and work on my presentation, the Hotwire Cookbook that I was talking about at RailsWorld. And yeah, I think we met with Adrian next time at the airport when we were boarding the plane to go to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yes, beautiful. RailsWorld, what a festival of a conference, right? Like so amazing. Like I think they really went all out. They found probably the nicest venue in Amsterdam. Very good catering, like amazing sponsors, all the sponsor booths. Like the screen in the main hall, that was amazing. Like there are a few things that if you organize the conference, you kind of see them. I know that screen really makes the whole difference, and it costs a lot of money and everything to have it. So definitely, I think it was totally one of the most high-end conferences that I've ever been.
Yeah, so the venue was the previous stock exchange of the Netherlands. It was located 500 meters from the central train station, and it was a gigantic and very beautiful building, both from the outside and from inside. So I think we arrived on the conference was on which days? On Thursday, Friday, right?
Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. So
Wednesday,
I think we
Thursday.
arrived on Tuesday. Oh no,
Okay,
Wednesday, I think.
Yeah. So Wednesday evening there were the pre-registrations, and at around 5 o'clock in the evening we arrived at the venue. You just come up and like you see so many familiar faces from the internet.
Yes. Like if you had like a catalog of all the famous Twitter people, they were there. They were there in front of the venue, and then throughout all the conference, the event. Yeah, I think everybody wanted to be a part of the first edition, and I think next year is going to be like maybe twice in size. I don't know, maybe at least 1,000 people. Definitely.
Yeah, I was just like wondering to myself if there was no limit on the amount of tickets, how much would there have been sold?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I had this conversation with somebody, and that's a very good question. We'll see next year, definitely. We'll see next year how it goes.
Yeah. So
what did you think about talks?
The talks. So the first talk was by David, and he announced 7 new, as it was put, frameworks, but I would say parts of Ruby on Rails, or like 7 new tools within the Ruby on Rails framework. So these were basically prop shaft, so to replace SP Rockets. SP Rockets has been existing for like maybe 15 years now, and it has a lot of legacy. So I imagine prop shaft is just like a lightweight replacement for SP Rockets that does not have like all the legacy dependencies, and just the new assets pipeline. Then there was Turbo 8, and there was actually a separate talk about Turbo 8 by Jorge from Basecamp, and he was talking about how we will be able to replace parts of page with writing fewer custom turbo streams. So like a new way of different parts of the page that should be and should not be replaced. So there actually is a pull request open on the Turbo repo, and you can check it out now if it has not yet been merged. But I'm really looking forward to making a few videos about how to use this Turbo morphing. And actually, the
I think
HTMX.
it's yeah.
Yeah, the HTMX
No, go for it.
community also uses Morphin, as I recall, and they also picked up this message like, "Hey, Morphin is coming to Turbo."
Well, I had Marco next to me, I think, at that presentation, and he said like we use it in stimulus reflex for a long time ago. So definitely it was in the Ruby community for a long time as well. I feel that most of these improvements are like incremental improvements. You know how now with Apple, with the iPhone, you don't get like many features that are cutting edge and out of this world, but you get incremental improvements which just make the experience even better. But I think like I'm really looking for the morphing thing. I'm just going to try it out today, and all of the other things, like Strata and Solid Q. This is another thing that I want to see. So definitely there are incremental. It's nothing like super high end out of this world, but I love that we're having this first party support, and they're listening to the community. They're thinking about us, and they're putting in all the work. And I think a better integration with the community, that would be like even better, like a better experience all throughout for everyone.
Yeah, and I see a big shift towards like making deploying apps as cheap and as accessible as possible. So the whole point with Solid Cache is to replace Redis. Then there is Solid Q that should replace Sidekick. And then there are all these improvements made for SQLite, and the whole goal is to be able to run the whole your whole Rails app in one single process.
Yes.
So
and this all makes it easier for the one-person framework. It makes it so easy for a developer that is like full stack, knows about all of these things. They can just launch and have as little friction as possible when you start. Later, if you want to add something like Sidekick because you need some other things, perfect, you can do that. If you want to add Redis, perfect, you can do that. So it's good that we have all of these things out of the box, and you can just say Rails new, and then you have everything just ready for you. You don't have to bring in like third-party things. Yeah, I love this.
It's like Redis is cool, Sidekick is cool, but maybe for your little hobby app that is overkill. So for small apps, it will definitely make sense to just like have this SQLite, everything in one process.
Yeah. But I would go a little bit of more and say like it's not just for a hobby app. I mean, I am pretty sure that medium-sized companies, I don't know what that is, but not only like hobby apps, like small-sized companies definitely could be covered from all of these new things, running everything from one process, like single-person app. And then somewhere like when like I don't know how Solid Q will work, but if something doesn't work there, okay, then we're gonna have to upgrade. But this could happen like 3, 4, 5 years further down the line. This is not something that okay, we're just going to do MVP with this and then we have to suddenly switch to something else. So I think these tools will support medium-sized apps without any kind of issues.
Yeah, I just can't wait to try deploying an app without using Redis and without using Postgres.
Oh yeah.
It's like just
it's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be
SQLite in production and with some way to process jobs.
Yeah, there are some questions that how are you going to do backups and stuff, but definitely I think solutions will be out there. Like people are going to think about it and come out with solutions. So definitely a cool thing to experiment with. What did you think about the people and the activities at the conference? How was that experience for you?
So on the first day of the conference, I was feeling really overwhelmed because every 2 minutes I kept meeting somebody really amazing from like people I've spoken online, and everybody was so open, so cheerful, and I just wanted to spend more time with everybody. And I was afraid that I wouldn't have the chance to meet everybody I wanted.
No, definitely. It's such a big event that you will definitely miss people, but you will definitely meet many cool ones. I really thought it was amazing that they brought most of the Rails core team members together. This really shows a little bit of governance in the Rails community, in the Rails world. Like, okay, we're gonna have this from now on. I mean, okay, we were doing this remote thing, we were doing it sync and whatever, but it's nice to meet in person and to see some faces and talk to these people. So I thought it was a very nice thing to do that. And even the panel was great. Usually these panels don't, in my opinion, they don't go so well. I know there are some like weird questions or something, or who's talking, who's going to respond, or whatever. But I think this went very, very well. Like Robbie Russell, he did an amazing job of moderating it. Very good questions, and everybody had like great answers. I really enjoyed that part of the show, which I usually, I'm not very fond of panels, but this went very, very well.
Yeah, I also liked it. So there are 12 members in the Rails core team, and 10 out of 12 managed to make it to the event. Actually, really enjoyed talking to Carlos. So he's been a member of the Rails core team for around 10 years now, and he also manages the device gem.
Yes. That was
And
great to see.
yeah, actually, I had the chance to ask him the direct question of why it takes so long to make device turbo compatible.
And what was the answer?
Oh,
Or maybe we should not talk about
oh, I mean, like there were a lot of issues open. There were a lot of different pull requests with different approaches, but the approach had to be backwards and upwards compatible and did not have to be a break-in change. So it took some time to, let's say, find the leanest solution without breaking anything that already existed.
Yeah, I agree. You want to move fast, but with things like device, you don't want to break too many things in the
But I
process.
mean, people really made a drama out of nowhere. Like if you go to Reddit, everybody was asking, device is too old. We need some kind of new authentication approaches. But the simple solution was just like add data turbo false on the device forms. It's like 2 minutes of work, and we're making a fuss about it.
Yes. I know. Good vibes. Let's just do good vibes. Let's not talk about bad vibes. Yeah. But I'm really grateful about having device. I know now there's a push in Rails 7.1 about authentication, building your own. It's way easier and stuff. But I was just I feel like device, it's something like solid cache, solid queue, like something like I just want to put in authentication. It should support like most of the use cases, which it does. It should be secure, which it is. It should be like, I know there are people out there that think about like they think about security issues and security, and they solve those issues. And I want them to think about that and just tell me like, okay, you should upgrade device because we are going, we fixed this security hole. This is not something else that I want to maintain on my own. So this is my opinion. Like if you want to do OmniAuth and everything else, it's just perfect. Everything just works out of the box. So definitely let's keep device maintained and popular. That's my opinion on it.
I mean, it has served me well for so many years, and I don't really see any problems with the device. It's like perfect for email password login. If you don't need email password, you can easily use like OmniAuth, or there's this wonderful gem Passwordless where it's like always a magic link via email.
Yeah. Definitely is not silver bullet for any type of situation, but most of them are perfect. So I just want that. It's okay. Triathlon, the Triathlon 9. What about that? It was really cool to have like 9 people go to all 3 conferences. It was great.
Not too many, but I mean, maybe next year will be like the Triathlon 100.
Definitely, fingers crossed. Yeah, it was nice.
Talking of the triathlon, like when I initially saw that there are so many Ruby conferences in such a short time span, I thought like, oh, that's not cool. But actually, it was amazing.
Was amazing. Yeah, definitely. I hope we can replicate that somehow next year. We're thinking about doing that. Like we know when RailsWorld is going to be next year. So I think Friendly is going to be very close to it. So definitely it was the same thing for me at first. I thought, oh, this is a mess, this is a disaster, nobody's going to come, but it was just great to have them. And we had people that went to EuRuKo and Friendly, and people that went to Friendly and
Yeah.
RailsWorld. So that was just perfect. Yeah, I really enjoyed that part. Yeah.
Yeah, and talking about the talks during RailsWorld, so there was DHH that was introducing all these new future additions to Rails, like Solid Cache, Solid Queue, Prop Shaft, Strada. Then there was Jorge, who was talking about Turbo 8 and the smoothing. Mark Roth, who helped understand all these like terms in the turbo worlds, like cable ready, stimulus reflex, turbo power, turbo boost. So like there are so many tools, and yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to trying this like stimulus LSP thing.
Yeah, and there was Yaro, which also previewed like a lot of like cool ways of doing the different things, different patterns that maybe we've seen it from React or some other places, and they are quite easy to implement in Hotwire as well. Like it was very nice how you took it like from okay, we have turbo drive, then we have turbo frames, then we have turbo streams, and you went a little bit more advanced every time, but it was a nice way of going through all of them. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I think we had a lot of what do you call it, talk about, like we had a lot of murmur around Hotwire and turbo, so definitely like front end had a special place in this year's Rails world and the next version of Rails. So I think it's a problem, like it's front end is a problem that it's really nice and solvable with Rails.
yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
There were like many talks about the front end, and there were a few talks about like mobile. So one was
yeah,
about Strada, the other one was about Turbo Native, and
yeah,
I also enjoyed the talk about uh, how they SPAs, no, PWA,
PWA,
Progressive Web Apps.
yes,
So
yes, yeah,
I think the lady that was talking about it was from maybe Chile, and she was talking
yes,
about the problem she had to solve of like not making users download an actual app and being able to do stuff offline. And the way she solved it with Rails and PWA was just amazing. So I would love to
yes,
try to make an offline Rails app that you don't have to download as an actual app, but just as a PWA. That was really cool.
yeah. Yeah, I went to that talk as well. It was very interesting to see. Yeah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and there was the final party, like 20 years of Rails. So after
Yeah,
the final keynote by Aaron Patterson, everybody goes out and the lights are dimmed. It looks purple like on accreditation disco,
yeah,
Vine, and all these beautiful tables, a DJ, and a
yeah,
giant lot of cupcakes. Each of them had Rails 20th anniversary sticker on top.
yeah, yeah. No, it was beautiful. I spoke to a few people and they said like this should have been it, like the whole vibe in the lounge every day. Right? Like it should have been, more friendly and partying. But yeah, definitely loved it. Many cool pictures and came out of that. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
Um,
it was definitely a time to remember.
yeah, loved it. So next year we're going to try and find the triathlon and do it again.
Yeah, it's going to be like Tuzla, Budapest, and Toronto.
Probably, I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll have Friendly very close to Rails World. So probably next week or
Geographically,
something. Nah, no, not yet, not yet.
Ontario.
No. So definitely, we wanna keep it cozy for a few more years. I mean, I feel that many conferences that are left, they just grew, which is beautiful. Like they grew because they grew in popularity and more people want to attend them. But we still need the cozy ones. We still need the ones where you can really have a beer with Xavier and talk about your life's experiences and stuff, or talk to Jeremy and tell him about your indie business problem and whatever. So these kinds of connections, you can do them at RailsWorld and EuRuKo, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Everybody's going to want to shake their hand and whatever. So I think the cozy ones are. We still need them, and I want to keep it at least for a while like that. So definitely, very like premium or whatever, but cozy, like a few people, so it's just the right size, and everybody enjoys themselves and have fun. So no, not next year, not geographically, no, nothing like that. But we'll see in the future. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, Adrian. It was really cool to remember this good time. Maybe a few years from now I will be rewatching this episode and just remembering how good it was, what a good time it was.
Yeah, definitely. Same here. It's a good way of just letting it all out and unravel in your mind. Yeah, definitely. Love that.
Yeah. Okay, Adrian, it was great talking to you. Good times to be in.
Man. Good times.
Bye-bye.
Cool. Thanks for calling. See ya.